Welcome. We can go ahead and begin, so we're already tardy. All right, adjournment of closed session. Can I have a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Vote by board members.
Aye.
Aye. Time is 7:01. All right, tonight, since it is summertime and our children are enjoying time with their families during summer break, let's have Board of Education Clerk, Mrs. Nancy O'Kelly, lead us in the pledge. Ms. O'Kelly?
Everybody stand, put your hand on your heart, and begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mrs. O'Kelly. Dr. Avila, do we have a report out of closed session? Are you ready for it, or
Yes, we're ready.
should I tell jokes or stories or something?
We have several. The Board of Education approved administrative appointments for the 2018-2019 school year. The roll call vote was unanimous. A list of the recommendations will be available upon request in personnel. The Board of Education accepted the request for a leave of absence for classified employee number 1942338, September 4, 2018 through December 13th, 2018. The roll call vote was unanimous. Board of Education accepted the administrative appointment of Albert Anaya as Autism Specialist, Special Education. The roll call vote was unanimous. The Board of Education accepted the administrative appointment of Lori Cardenas as Autism Specialist, Special Education. The roll call vote was unanimous. The Board of Education accepted the administrative appointment of Darlene Dean as Autism Specialist, Special Education. The roll call vote was unanimous. The Board of Education accepted the administrative appointment of Maria Jones as Autism Specialist, Special Education. The roll call vote was unanimous. The Board of Education accepted the administrative appointment of Jamie Gortz as Autism Specialist, Special Education. The roll call vote was unanimous. The Board of Education accepted the administrative appointment of Rosario Montilla as Autism Specialist. The roll call vote was unanimous. The Board of Education accepted the supervisory appointment of Manuel Leal as Maintenance Foreman, Maintenance and Operations. The roll call vote was unanimous. The Board of Education accepted the administrative appointment of Monica Radcliffe Perez, Elementary Principal, Preston Elementary School. The roll call vote was unanimous. And the Board of Education approved the following administrative title changes for the 2018-2019 school year. The roll call vote was unanimous. A copy of the document will be available through personnel upon request.
Thank you, Dr. Avila. Okay, on to the adoption of our agenda. Can I have a motion and a second, please?
I move to adopt the agenda.
Second.
Thank you. Vote by board members.
Aye.
Thank you. And we have no presentations, so we move into comments. Public comment from the floor. At this time, any person wishing to speak on any item not on the agenda will be granted 3 minutes. Dr. Avila?
Yes, and please excuse me if I mispronounce the name. I think it's Hay Porter. Porter? Faye.
To the microphone.
Welcome.
Thank you. Well, good evening to the superintendent and Board of Education members.
Good
My
evening.
name is Gwendolyn Hurd Nelson. With me is,
I'm Faye Pointer.
And I'm Clea Ross.
and we have been individuals who have lived in Rialto for many years. Our children are products of the Rialto Unified School District. And in 1978, I decided that I wanted to do a daily morning exercise. And being that I live very close to Frisbee Middle School, I used that track for 40 years. It was very disappointing on October 31st, 2017, that we received notification that the track was being closed until further notice because of maintenance and safety issues. That was October. There was no further explanation as to what those safety and maintenance issues were. However, if there's a policy in place that prohibits the track to be used while students are in school, we're here to see if that policy is being considered for change, or if it is possible that the track can at least be open during the summer months when the students are no longer in school until school resumes, as well as during the holiday breaks of Christmas, Thanksgiving, and spring break. Exercise is really important. It keeps us mentally alert and physically active. Walking for some 40 years has kept me in a very healthy state. And so walking on pavement is not recommended. It has a serious effect on your knees, what have you. So walking on a dirt surface certainly is more appropriate and better for individuals. So we're here tonight to ask what is the status of the closure of Frisbee Middle School track, and if any consideration is being given for that reopening. I was under the impression that that was a policy that had been implemented for all of the middle schools, but I later learned that Frisbee, to my knowledge, is the only middle school where the track is no longer available to citizens. We pay taxes. There's a significant amount of our property tax dollars that is designated for the school system, and we feel that opening the track for a minimum of 3 or 4 hours every morning should not cause that much of an inconvenience, and we never experienced any safety issues. My friend here,
Excuse me, I'll have to interrupt you.
Okay,
First of all, we don't respond tonight, but I will have the superintendent contact you. He's got your information. The phone number's on there.
Yes, I did receive an email, and I'm
Right.
working with staff currently to address the
Okay.
request.
Thank you for bringing it to,
Yeah, they might have.
okay. Okay, that's fine, please.
okay. So as I
Start
was
the
about to
timer
say,
again, please.
we are here to ask for your real consideration to give us an option of using Frisbee at least during the summer and during vacation. If the issue of why it was closed has not been resolved, our preference would be that it would be open and we would be able to use it as we have done for the last 40-plus years.
It would help if you could give us what times. I mean, the superintendent would ask, but I'm sure the public is listening, so.
Well, when we were able to use the track, it was open as early as 4:30, and then it was closed prior to the opening of school. So basically, it was like 4:30 to say 8:20.
It's the same at Cope.
Okay, okay. All right, thank you. Do you still have time?
Well, I think I've covered our concerns, but
Okay.
it would just really, I think it's a real inconvenience, and if there is not a real safety issue anymore, or a maintenance issue, we would certainly like to be able to return to Frisbee. Because I'm still walking, but I'm walking now down Walnut to Riverside Avenue and back, and I do feel a difference. Walking on pavement is not the same.
Yes.
Harder on the joints.
Yes.
It's very difficult because there are so many uneven sidewalks
Right.
where it goes up, down. And although we aren't confronted with dogs, but sometimes that can be an issue. So Frisbee was a safe location. And as I said, doing it over 40 years, it was something that we look forward to. It was our daily routine. It's just like we walked every morning because we want to remain physically and mentally active. We are seniors, retired, and we don't want to have to look at other, because walking is free. Some people say, why don't you go to the gym? I don't like the gym because it's all, there's no open air. There's a possibility of contacting all sorts of germs. And I really like the freedom of walking. I walked several years, 4 miles every day. And I think even when I was younger, I was doing 5 miles at 5:30 in the morning. So, and now I'm down to about 2.5 because I don't want to stay on the sidewalk that long.
I understand, and while I don't see
Dr. Avila,
4:30
can you
very
tell the
often-
maintenance department that we would like to see the track at Frisbee reopened for these ladies?
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
So thank you for listening, and we
Thank
certainly
you.
hope that you will see in your hearts and your minds to act appropriately.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing it to our attention.
All right.
Dr. Avila, do we have any more?
Yes. Marbella Cortez.
Welcome.
Buenas noches. Buenas noches tengan todos ustedes,
Good evening to you all.
mesa directiva,
Board,
doctor Ávila,
Dr. Avila,
audiencia presente.
and audience here present.
Anteriormente he estado aquí ante todos ustedes
I have been here previously before all of you,
expresando una de mis grandes preocupaciones,
expressing one of my biggest concerns,
una gran falta de comunicación
a huge lack of communication
que tenemos los padres
that we, the parents, have
cuando queremos expresar algunas de nuestras preocupaciones
when we want to express some of our concerns
sobre nuestros estudiantes de educación especial.
regarding our students of special education.
Es frustrante
It's frustrating
tener que recurrir a diferentes personas
having to go to different people,
y al fin tenemos que esperar por un largo tiempo
and in the end, we end up waiting for a long time
y sorpresa,
and surprised,
no se nos atiende.
we are not taken care of.
Es claro el favoritismo que tiene alguno del personal
The favoritism that some of the staff shows, it's very clear
por algunos padres
for certain parents
que en cuanto suena el teléfono
that as soon as the phone rings,
son atendidos.
they are taken care of.
Yo he tratado de comunicarme
I have tried to communicate
de diferentes maneras,
in many different ways,
vía email,
through email,
telefónicamente,
by phone,
y no se me ha atendido.
and I have not been taken care of.
Por último,
And lastly,
quisiera decir
I would like to say
que un padre jamás
that a parent should never
debería de recurrir a un representante
have to go to a representative
o a un abogante
or to an attorney
Para-
or advocate
para venir a expresar las necesidades de cualquiera de sus estudiantes.
to come and express the needs of any one of their students.
Señor Ávila,
Mr. Avila,
me gustaría que considerara
I would like for you to take into consideration
como última opción
as a last resource
intimidar a los padres
the intimidation of parents,
mandándoles un abogado.
sending them an attorney.
Somos humanos,
We are human,
cometemos errores
we make mistakes,
y tenemos que enfrentarlos.
and we have to face those mistakes.
Si ustedes han fallado, Faye,
If you have failed
con mi hijo,
with my son,
deberían de haber enfrentado,
you should have faced
sentarse,
those failures and you should have sat down
platicar
and talk
y llegar a un acuerdo.
and come to an agreement.
No tenemos que pasar por estas humillaciones.
We do not have to go through these humiliations.
Eso sería todo. Muchísimas gracias.
That is all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Angélica Ruiz.
Welcome.
Good evening, board members. My name is Angelica Reese, and I'm here to give Mr. Martinez his book that I promised him years ago. Sorry, but sometimes we
okay.
do hear that when we ask for
We remember.
services for our children. All we hear is sorry. So, sorry. Once again, I took so long,
That's okay.
and here's your book.
Thank you for the follow-through.
Thank you.
That's all.
Thank you. Okay, public comments on agenda items. Any person wishing to speak on any item on the agenda will be granted 3 minutes.
We have none.
Okay. It's definitely summertime. Okay, comments from Association Executive Board members, Rialto Education Association.
They're on vacation. Oh, we do, okay.
Okay. California School Employees Association, CSEA. Welcome.
Good evening, President Martinez, School Board, Dr. Avila. My name is Raquel Torres, and I am President of the California School Employees Association. On June the 8th, I had the opportunity to participate in the Seamless Summer event, which was at the Rialto Park, and it was hosted by our Nutrition Services Department. I saw Edgar Montes there. It was a really good event that was for the community. We had quite a few vendors there. There was vendors that provided ice cream. There was fruit. Right next to the security department had an event there with our control center. And right next to us, we had a vendor that was giving free slices of fresh oranges that were really, really refreshing. But I do want to report out that our Nutrition Services Department did an awesome job. I believe they served about possibly 1,500 hamburgers. They were really good, delicious. I was able to eat one. It was really nice. They will be having another event July the 13th at Andreessen Park. And I did want to report out that at the event, there were a couple of vendors, and we had a face painting vendor. And one of the parents came up to the security area to report that she had been waiting in line for 2 hours to have her children's face painted. So the kids were crying. They were really upset. And one of the girls that work in the control center, Rochelle Werner, she actually went out to her vehicle. She got makeup and she painted masks for those two students. But I just want to say I have some amazing classified workers. It's things like this that provide good support for the community, a lot of community engagement, and there were a lot of parents out there. And I want to invite everyone to come out again and participate July the 13th at Andreessen Park. And a shout out to the Nutrition Services Department. They did an awesome job. We have management there, classified, and they're really hard workers, and we did a good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stop being shy, Fawcett. We can see you.
It's those lunch ladies again. All right, Dr. Avila, do we have more? I'm sorry. Here I am. Communication Workers of America, CWA. Rialto School Managers Association, RSMA. All right, we are to comments from the superintendent.
Thank you, President Martinez. So the month of June brings us lots of heat and hopefully for our staff members, the much needed and desired time off to spend with their family and friends before August welcomes us back to school. We have had a pretty busy schedule in June. I just returned from the transformational leadership conference in Palm Desert a little over an hour ago. It was 107 degrees. It was extremely hot, but I was very happy to see a number of our district employees at the event, not only having a good time, but really taking advantage of the amazing presentations that were taking place. And I also had the opportunity to sit on a superintendent's panel to discuss some key and positive educational issues of our time. We had a solid turnout at our compressed natural gas fueling station grand opening ribbon cutting earlier this week. The CNG station will be located at 261 Lilac Avenue in Rialto. I was joined by Ms. O'Kelly in celebration with many of our supporters and audience. We had some great articles in the press that have only owned and operated. We are the only district to have owned and operated a CNG station in SoCal. We're very pleased with the positive feedback our social media has attracted and generated. A big thank you to Muhammad and David Waldhall for their vision, Derek, Dora, Transportation M&O, Facilities, Nutrition Services, and everybody, support staff who were there supporting this grand opening. And just a couple of quick reminders for some upcoming events. On Friday, June 29th, this Friday, our Adult Summer Academy graduation through our Parent Institute will be taking place at 9:30 at the Bistro at Chavez Huerta Center for Education. I know that Ms. Carol Mahashko and Ana Gonzalez have worked really hard, so I look forward to seeing the parents there this Friday. And finally, on June 26th, the district is keeping our kids safe and healthy fair. We will hold, which will be held at 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Parents and students are invited, and from those planning events and student services, this should be a fun and well-attended event. Look forward to seeing many of you there. And also a big happy birthday to our one board member who is not with us today. Happy 25th, Ms. Dina Walker.
Absolutely. Question for clarification. You said June 26th?
You mean July?
July, correct.
Okay, July. Just wanted to make sure.
It was the heat.
Yes, I see your ties melting. I also saw you on social media, up there with all other principals. Thank you for representing.
In Palm Springs, you know, they often have to put huge blocks of ice in their swimming pools to be able to swim because the water gets so hot. Just a fun fact.
Okay, comments from board members. Let's start with Ms. O'Kelly.
Okay, well, I hope everyone's enjoying their summer and all this lovely heat we're having. I was very proud and very excited to attend the grand opening of our own RUSD CNG station that will also be open to the public 24/7. In 2012, the district began the journey to reduce our carbon footprint on the environment and to improve the health of our students by incorporating clean fuel school buses. Our entire fleet of buses will either be fueled by CNG or they will be electric buses. We will be receiving 15 brand new buses at no cost because we have been chosen as a sort of a model city for doing this. And so Rialto is the only district in Southern California to own their own CNG station and electric bus charging station. So the district shared a strong business partnership with the California Energy Commission, Mobile Source Air Pollution Reduction, and the South Coast Review Committee, and the South Coast Air Quality Management District. In order to complete this impressive project. I want to thank and commend Muhammad Islam for his forward-thinking vision and for bringing this project to the board 5 years ago for our approval. Not just Muhammad, but David. What's his last name?
Gabe Rialto.
Okay. They were the start of all of this. And I want to commend Dr. Superintendent Avila for coming on board and immediately jumping on it also and making sure it got done. So I'm very happy, and it was a wonderful gathering, and I got to cut the ribbon.
Some big scissors.
They were heavy scissors. And other school districts and the public will be able to get CNG gas for their vehicles from us that will turn into a source of revenue for the district. So it's really exciting. And that's about it for me. I don't have much else to say. Just stay cool and, enjoy time off.
Thank you, Clerk O'Kelly. Board Member Ayala, please.
President Martinez, thank you. Tonight, I'd like to talk about what it takes to make positive changes to keep us moving forward. But before I do that, I want to give accolades here to Mohammed for being inspiring us with the CNG program. My apologies for not being there, and I just overlooked that date. If I could turn back the time, I'd have been there, Mohammed, because I'm proud of what you did for our community. And when those bills get paid and we break even, it's going to benefit this community. And I'm really proud to announce this, that not the other school districts don't have what we have here in Rialto right now. So that gives us tremendous resources for the future. Thanks again. Okay, many of us get frustrated, without a doubt, okay? We get frustrated because we don't get what we want, or we see the same things on a daily basis. I, for one, can tell you I go through Muscoy. It is our neighbors. I drive through that community, and I see things there that could be improved. Obviously, you can go in any community and see things that need to be improved, but it doesn't seem to change, and maybe some people like it that way. But it would be nice and refreshing to see more civil changes. I see too many people laying on the sidewalks and struggling, and I just bring that to our attention, because here we are in Rialto. We have our struggles, and there's many of us that don't know what to do, okay? So, one, we could rant and rave, okay? And start yelling at people, saying, do something. And because we're frustrated. We can go to meetings. We can alert advocates who are very articulate, who know the rules. That costs money to make changes. We can start a march, because that happens sometimes. Or, you know, if you have the right kind of leadership and they're listening to us, we don't need to do those things. They're sensitive. They know how to lead with their minds and their hearts. And so that's our goal, is to provide this community with the right kind of leadership that will be sensitive to the needs of our community, so we don't have people sleeping on the sidewalks. So we have people who are successful. Rocking the boat is not always the best way to go. We have to understand that these changes sometimes, they need time. They do need time, and this is what frustrates people. But if you go through these protocols and there's still no changes, you show us that you went through those changes, and I don't see anybody not supporting you. Because we all get frustrated. You give a person a chance to make the changes and they ignore you and they ignore you and they ignore you. How can anybody say, put you down for trying to do something that's right? Okay, so in addition to that, I want to throw this out there, because I'm a vested teacher. Just because I'm retired and I got a check that comes in the mail every month, that doesn't mean that will continue. I know where that check comes from. I earned it, was invested for me, but there's a lot of people behind me where the system could fail them. The federal government at the very top is not real happy with education. They would like to see alternative education. And I'm saying this because when push gets to shove, our support as teachers, as an educational institution, comes from the people we serve. And so if we do a good job serving them, and we listen to them, and we help them, someday we're going to need their help, and they will help us. Let's not forget that message. Thank you for the opportunity to share some words with you.
Always from the heart, my brother. Vice President Montez, floor is yours.
Thank you, Board President, Mr. Martinez. Well, first of all, good evening to everyone that was able to make it out tonight. I didn't think too many people were going to be here today, but
Just us chickens.
but it's always nice to have some visitors and people from the community to share with us their concerns. I do just want to, I know it's not normal for board members to respond to public comment, but I do just want to say that we do, at least I speak for myself when I say that it would be nice to have Frisbee's fields reopened, you know, like they did for so many years, like Kolb does and some of the other schools do, because there are people in the community that do depend on those fields to get their morning exercise, or you know, to help them work on their health and whatnot. So whatever you could do, Dr. Avila and staff, to look into the situation there with the closing of the field, and hopefully getting it reopened as soon as possible for the community, that would be great. I know maintenance had some work there to be done regarding the installation of the solar panels and some other stuff, but all of that's been settled already. So I do also just want to thank Mr. Islam, Mr. Warhol. I want to thank all of the staff members that worked really hard to seeing that project through. All of the people, all of the outside vendors and contractors that there was multiple change orders, but it's okay. It comes with you know, it comes with the work. It's finally been opened. I drove by it. It looks beautiful. It's very high tech and very modern. There's no gate. It's just open, and for those people who have a use for it, they know what to do when they drive in there and get there. And it's awesome. And I was glad to see that. I couldn't be there either because of work commitments, but I was glad to see Ms. Joffrey and the staff at Communications Department do a really good job in getting the news out to the community, notifying parents and the community about the wonderful, not only this event, but other events going on in the district. And I seen in the videos that were uploaded and the photos that were uploaded on social media, we had city council members there, which obviously this was a very proud moment for them too, to have a certified natural gas station in the city. We had people from, you know, municipal water districts here. We had people from other surrounding communities, neighboring communities, and it's nice when our neighbors feel welcomed and feel, you know, and feel welcomed at our events, you know, and it's not only a proud moment for us, but it's a proud moment for them. So thank you, Dr. Avila, Dr. McDuffie, and everybody, you know, that held the event. It was really nice. I didn't go this time, so I'm not sure if Nutrition Services had any soft drinks or anything for the people. They usually do.
No.
They
But-
had a very big spread.
But thank you, because you guys are always so you know, also so welcoming to the community for those special events, and it's really a proud moment for me because, like Ms. O'Calley said, the Cng Station has been in the works for the last 4 years or 5, and has it been 5 years already? Has it?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, those 5 years were worth it. And don't feel bad, Mr. Ayala, you couldn't be there. I couldn't be there either. Neither could Mr. Martinez and Ms. Walker, put them on blast. But Nancy O'Calley was holding was holding down the fort for us, and We all voted for it, so you know that it couldn't have been possible without our mighty pen voting for it. But thank you to everyone, truly, you know, staff, and the hard work of staff is really what has driven the whole thing more than anything. We just say yes or no, and we made a good decision. So thanks once again, and Dr. Avila, thank you for not only you know, not only coming on board, but coming on board and really getting going with all of the good things that were already in the works, like this CNG station. So thank you very much, and that's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Vice President Montez. I really don't have much tonight, other than everyone rest while you can. The heat's on, stay cool. If you have a chance, you might Google the Monterey, what is that?
Jazz Festival?
The Monterey Amendment, which has to do with the water. There's something supposed to go on in 18 years where this Monterey Amendment is supposed to end, and it is pretty scary. A lot of people are without water or don't have drinkable water, and that is up north some ways. And while it's not here right now, we always have to look, at least I always look 20 years ahead. That'll put me well into retirement. And really, I want to be able to enjoy, you know, water, whether it's bathing, showering, washing the dog.
Make a comment?
Please, go ahead.
77% of the water entering the Sacramento Delta goes to the ocean.
Yes.
You build a peripheral, in other words, a little dam, divert it, and bring it down here. I know it can be done, but it's got to be a priority. Here again, that's what, do we have to rant and rave, get advocates? Do we have to have a march? So, I mean, maybe other people don't feel our pain, but it's nice to have a green lawn,
Yes.
flowers. You know, this is our time to live.
Correct.
If you know how bad it can get, go down to Hemet and see those communities down there. There's no green lawns nowhere, just rocks and chain link fences. So, thank you for bringing that up.
Oh, not a problem at all. It's troubling because here we are working for the future, for the good of our students and our communities.
Right.
And if it takes mobilizing the community, we first have to understand what we're mobilizing for.
That's right.
So just again, the Monterey Amendment has to do with your water, and it should be going for another 18 years before. What I saw was dire consequences, but whether that's overspun or accurate, you'll have to decide for yourself. Either way, the outcome, even if it was overspun, it's scary. If it's underspun or accurate, it's still scary. So we need water to live. And anyway, other than that, rest up. It's summertime. Enjoy what you can, because it'll soon be time to come back to our youth, to lead them, to guide them, to teach them, to feed them. And I greatly appreciate all the work that our people do, and they deserve the rest. Today, the Janus struggle through the Supreme Court, U.S. Supreme Court, came through, and it wasn't what the unions wanted. The service fee payers, having been a union member, you can pay dues, or you can, or you could have been a service fee payer and taken the same amount to go to other causes. Now, you'll have a choice. America's all about choice, but choose wisely, because again, 20 years down the road, if it's not for the unions, our pensions wouldn't be so good. So while those of us who are retired and expect that check, without the unions, maybe that check could be questionable 20 years down the road. So I'd hate to be, you know, in my 80s and all of a sudden worried about income, much less water.
Comment? One comment?
Please.
It isn't done very often, but I have heard when you want to give an additional voice to a school district, you can appoint somebody, legislative advocate for the school district. And instead of maybe the money that's budgeted for a workshop, that money can be used to send that person to Sacramento to visit some of the offices and the legislatures to see, hey, what is being done in these areas, then come back and report. And it's not a bad thing. And I'm not doing this for me because I got a lot on the plate right now, but maybe down the road, it could be just somebody that we respect highly. It doesn't even have to be a board member. And we could
Correct.
have them help us out with our concerns.
Yes. On that topic, luckily, we do have a good response, and we know our legislators locally.
Yes.
They attend. We can talk to them openly. So that's another approach. Whenever I see them, there's something on my mind. Sometimes they don't want to hear it, but they do. They're really good.
But
Anyway.
still, we have to reach out to them.
Absolutely.
And we're here
And their
every,
door is open.
but we're here every 2 weeks.
Yes.
And if we have somebody that's here every 2 weeks, we're communicating.
Yeah.
It's a direct line.
Absolutely.
That's more efficient.
Okay, before we get off this topic, I have to bounce it back to you, Dr. Avila, because you mentioned you had something else for us.
Yes, I overlooked a request made by Fitzgerald Elementary School Principal Yolanda Jackson. She did ask me if I would at least take a look at the art that is on the walls. It is a big thank you to the Board of Education from the students for letting us perform. You're the best. All of this is related to Think Together, the after-school program. The school does not qualify for the grant, and therefore the board, the district, is directly paying for that
Yes,
program
we are.
for them. Thanks to the board. And so the students and the staff wanted to send their gratitude to you. So before you leave the boardroom today, if you would at least be kind enough to read some of the statements that are made on those posters.
Thank you. That's very important, and it's highly touching and moving. Okay, thank you, Dr. Avila. All right, we are moving into the public hearing, open public hearing. And I need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Thank you. Second, please.
Second.
Okay, any person wishing to speak on the item on the public hearing agenda will be granted 3 minutes. Public hearing pursuant to the requirements of government code and board policy. The form for public disclosure of proposed collective bargaining agreement, AB 1200, statutes of 1991, Chapter 1213, as revised by AB 2756, statutes of 2004, Chapter 25, Government Code 3547.5, between the Rialto Education Association, REA, and the Rialto Unified School District Board of Education is hereby posted in compliance with the legislative requirements for public notice. It is reference D 1.1 through 5. Reference D as in dog, 1.1 through 5. Okay, do we have any comments, Dr. Avila?
We do not.
Okay,
I make a motion to close public hearing.
Second.
Thank you. I do have a quick comment for the public or for any of the members of the association. This is a very good document to see what this budget is all about. It tells you where some of the money's going. It really lays it out. It's very informative and much easier to read than the regular budget, the SACS forms. I highly recommend it. So we do have a motion and a second before us. Vote by board members.
Aye.
Thank you. Now, we have no one to comment on public hearing. Does the board have any comments? Hearing none, I entertain a motion to close public hearing.
We just voted to close, didn't we?
No, that was actually
I
according
was
here
to
to
open
open.
it. I made the motion right before he made the comment.
Yeah,
We never voted on the first part.
correct. That was the vote we just took was on the first part. So now we are entertaining a motion to close public hearing. I need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second,
Thank you. Vote by board members.
aye.
Aye. Thank you. Consent calendar items. All items on the consent calendar will be acted upon in one motion unless pulled by Board of Education members or the superintendent for individual action. To approve consent calendar items reference E through J, need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second with some polls.
Thank you. Ms. O'Kelly, go ahead.
Questions on H8, H20 and 21, and H29.
I make a motion to approve E through J with the exception of H8, 20, 21, and 29. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Yes, okay, we do have that motion. Let's see if we have any more polls. Do we have any more? Okay, we have a motion. Need a second?
Second,
Thank you. Okay, and the motion before us is to approve everything but H8, H20, 21, and 29. So, vote by board members.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Ms. O'Kelly, floor is yours.
Okay, first with H8, I have a question about this. The plan, when you read the long description of it in the back, sounds wonderful, but is it wise for us to deliberately bring bees to a school site? Because many kids are allergic to bees, plus no one likes being stung in the first place. So they may be good in a pollinating garden for pollination, but they are also close to children that they could sting. So, does anyone have an answer for that?
I like getting stung.
No.
Good evening, Superintendent Avila, Board President Martinez, and board members and the public. My name's Les Alexander. I'm the Director of Maintenance and Operations for the district. As regards to the bees, I don't think the bees are essential for the project. We can certainly do a garden and grove without bees. I think the bees were just an aspect of the educational component.
Well, they said they were going to have a pollinating garden with hummingbirds and bees. So I like the hummingbirds; they're cute, but the bees could be dangerous and could some kids get really sick from bee stings.
I think that's an item that we could probably have further discussions with the educational services and get their input on it, as well as our risk management department, and see what their input is on that as well.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Montes.
Just a comment. So the orchards that we have at the schools currently, the citrus trees, when they bloom, when the flowers bloom, they before it turns into the flower turns into an orange or a grapefruit, the bees go and pollinate those trees. It's a process necessary for the fruit to grow. What I like about the current orchards and gardens that we have now is that they're gated. So they're not open for the students to just during recess or during walking periods or whenever to just walk in and climb the trees or be by the flowers when the bees do happen to fly by and pollinate. I've got a lot of honeysuckle at the house and in my backyard, and we have bees all the time because of the honeysuckle flowers and hummingbirds. They don't mess with you. They don't bother no one unless you're over there purposely swatting them, and they can get upset. But in general, I think bees just want to do their work and be left alone and won't attack anyone unless there's a hive nearby. Then if there's a hive that comes and establishes itself in one of the orchards or one of the gardens, then we'd have to have professionals go out and remove the beehive. But just in general, the gardening areas, the orchard areas are usually fenced off or gated off, and I think the students are probably only allowed in those areas unless they have an educational purpose to work or water the plants.
You know, there's also different kind of species of bees too. So that's something to look into. There's what they call an HB. By no means am I a bee expert, but the HB was more docile. Okay, and so if you're gonna stay with the bees, you could bring in the HB, where it's do some studies on it. Just
But
throwing it out there.
this item here, does not call for, is not talking about bringing in bee colonies, right? Where we're
No.
going to be producing honey and
I don't believe
we're gonna
that's
be
the intent.
we're gonna be working.
It's just for
Just
pollination.
Yeah, it's just.
Pollination.
I think if it's just in general, I think we should be safe, especially if the teachers or the professionals take the kids out there, or they know that there might be a lot of bees out there. I think they'll keep them away.
And if you're gonna have
but-
bees, you better have some EpiPens. for the
Yeah.
kids.
Exactly.
I
This is
agree,
not an
Mr.
epi
Montez. I think student activity in the garden and grove area would definitely be supervised, and so, but that's a point that we can consider as we move forward with the project.
Right, and a lot of kids in their play and screaming and having fun could aggravate the bees. So I
Yeah.
have a few concerns about
It's not intentional,
for an
but children
education.
being children, so.
Good time for an education.
All right, so would you look into that? And
Yes, ma'am.
okay, thank you.
It is an opportunity to teach children how to respect bees.
Yeah.
and it's also and it's also a good rebate. It's a good rebate program.
Yes, it is.
To get those $2 per square foot.
All that's great. I just worry about the presence of the bees.
Excellent point, so do I.
Having been a person who once sat on a wasp. And remember that experience to this day.
That'll do it.
All right. Why
But
don't
I am
we,
thinking something.
why don't we continue, and then we'll,
We could take action on that individual one.
we'll accept all of them at once.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Ms. O'Kelly,
All right,
page 20.
20 and 21 kind of went together, and I know we received questions about the agenda, and it was addressed in the questions, but these two agenda items were submitted after the services were rendered. And I just wanted to point out that that's a very serious issue. Things have to be approved before we do them. And I just wanted the person who submitted those agenda items to know that if it happens again, they very well may not be approved, and then we have that problem to deal with. So, okay?
And just to comment on that, just a reminder to the board that with some items affecting special education, the services cannot be delayed until approved by the board. So the district is obligated to provide, and they normally come to the board in some cases after the fact. So that's just for the board to keep that in consideration.
But I think in this case, it was extras, like they went beyond the estimated amount, so.
Yeah, and I have spoken with staff to try and have a calculated amount based on trends, because we do have some unexpected costs or needs during the district if we have kids moving into the district with certain needs that we were just not budgeted for that affect some of these numbers.
Okay.
And because this was for special education auditory verbal therapy, we're gonna let it slide this time.
Okay, Ms. O'Kelly on H29.
Okay, H29. Does this item refer to our employees receiving education and training at the San Diego County Office of Ed? And what employees are these? What training are they receiving? Are they teachers, classified administrators?
Hello. This is for our CTE teachers. And the
Okay.
CTE program, there is also a hands-on component, and there's specific courses that they have to complete. Around here in this area, we have Cal State San Bernardino, but just depending on the subject area that is on their credential, San Diego is the closest program that we have at San Diego County Office of Education for some of these teachers. So it's an online program that they're doing to complete some of the courses that they need to get their clear CTE credential.
Okay, thank you.
All good questions. Thank you, Ms. O'Kelly.
All right.
Are there any other questions or comments? All right, we should be ready to, I entertain a motion and
Motion
a
to-
second.
Motion to approve items H8, H20, H21, and H29.
Second.
Thank you. Okay, vote by board members.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, that passes. Let me get myself together here. Jay. Discussion action items. I need a motion and a second for K1, please.
So moved.
Second with a question.
Okay, the floor is yours, Ms. O'Kelly.
Well, I know the increase this year, from what I read, has to be 32%. I know what's in the LCAP, but what are we doing to make sure we make that 32% growth with foster youth and disadvantaged English learners?
So with the foster youth, we have Angela Brantley doing training with the principals and the head counselors on, I guess what they call partial credit. And so one of the areas that we came into technical assistance for foster youth was because we didn't understand the processes to give students credit that's partial. And we know that graduation credits is less for foster youth, and I think we talked about that at the last board meeting.
Right.
And your second question was about?
I'm just wondering how are we going to know we meet 32%?
Right. So I think if that's the mark, what we have to do is we have to go back and we have to take a look at how many foster youth we have.
Yeah.
And then we have to see who now is meeting that threshold of those areas that we got designated. One is graduation.
Right.
And then we have to make sure it's above 32%. So it's summative. We have to go back and look at it and make sure we're meeting the mark.
Okay. All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
Okay. Are we ready to proceed, Ms. O'Kelly?
Yeah.
Anything else? Anyone else? No. Okay, vote by board members.
Aye.
Okay, motion and a second on K2.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second with a question
Thank you.
again.
Ms. O'Kelly.
The budget indicates that the ending balance for my favorite fund, the bond fund, Fund 21, is $186,296. Will we be able to complete the Performing Arts Theater and whatever else at Eisenhower? Is that all the money we have in the fund?
That's correct. Those money being obligated because we have a contract, so even the project is still moving forward, but the fund has been obligated.
The fund has been
For
obligated
the
already.
completion of the
Okay.
project,
All
yes.
right.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, vote by board members.
Aye.
Thank you. And on K3, a motion and a second, please, before I read something out.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. And that is, K3 is to approve a salary increase of 2% on schedule and a one-time 2% of base salary off schedule for all certificated and classified management, supervisory, confidential, and contract management employees effective July 1st, 2018. Then the note is, Board of Education, this date, June 27th, 2018, oral summary to be read before action on contract agenda item K3. Government Code Section 54953 was amended effective January 1st, 2017 to require the governing board, prior to taking final action on an employment agreement, to orally report a summary of a recommendation for the salaries, salary schedules, or compensation paid in the form of fringe benefits for local agency executives, the superintendent, lead strategic agent, strategics, congruence, and social justice, and associate superintendent of business services are local agency executives, and a proposed addendum to their contract for employment is before us this evening. The proposed addendum specifies that effective July 1st, 2018, the superintendent's base salary shall be $249,900.00 per year, plus $12,495.00 for his doctorate stipend, and a one-time stipend of $4,998.00, which represents 2% of his base salary, to be paid out on September 1st, 2018. All other items and conditions of the contract for employment, including those related to fringe benefits, remain unchanged. The lead strategic agent, strategics, congruence, and social justice's base salary shall be $198,900.00 per year, plus $9,945.00 for his doctorate stipend, and a one-time stipend of $3,978.00, which represents 2% of his base salary, to be paid out on September 1st, 2018. All other items and conditions of the contract for employment, including those related to fringe benefits, are unchanged. Associate Superintendent of Business Services base salary shall be $196,635.60 per year, plus a one-time stipend of $3,932.71, which represents 2% of his base salary, to be paid out on September 1st, 2018. All other terms and conditions of the contract for employment, including those related to fringe benefits, are unchanged. Okay, we have a motion and a second before us. So do we have questions or comments? Okay, the board discussed everything and felt that this was accurate and felt that it was appropriate to give them the same raise that everyone else gets, 2%. So we are ready to vote, board. Vote by board members?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. On K4, a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. K4 is to approve RFP 2017-1813 for the purchase of grocery products and related items as part of the Pomona Valley Co-op Purchasing Group for the 2018-19 school year. The costs of items purchased from this bid will be paid from Fund 13, Cafeteria Special Revenue Fund. Questions, comments? Vote by board members. Aye.
Aye.
A motion and second on
That
K.
was a delay. Aye.
Okay, thank you. On K5, motion and a second, please.
Move to approve K5.
Second.
Thank you. Award RFP Ryan's 2018-1902 dairy products to Hollandia Dairy for the fiscal year 2018-19. The cost of future items purchased from this bid will be paid from Fund 13, Cafeteria Special Revenue Fund. Questions or comments? Okay, vote by board members.
Aye.
Okay, motion for K6, please.
Move to approve
Second, please.
K6.
Second.
Thank you. Approve RFP CJNS 2018-19 paper for the purchase of paper products as part of the Pomona Valley Co-op Purchasing Group for the 2018-19 school year. The cost of items purchased from this bid will be paid from Fund 13, Cafeteria Special Revenue Fund. One thing the public will know, Fund 13, Cafeteria Special Revenue Fund. Questions, comments by board members? Okay, vote by board members.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion and a second on K7.
So move with discussion.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Let me read it and then we will discuss. Award RFP Ryan's 2018-1904 tortilla products to Sunrise Produce for the fiscal year 2018-19. The cost of future items purchased from this bid will be paid from Fund 13, Cafeteria Special Revenue Fund. Okay, Mr. Ayala.
As we become more educated, it's just important to realize that some of our children out there have issues, and thank God it's a small percentage, but nevertheless it still affects. And we're talking about allergies to wheat and flour, and we just got to stay on top of it. Just make sure that we watch our kids. If they have rashes and you see these rashes come up on kids, a lot of times they have allergies to foods, but a lot of it is gluten. And if you look at what gluten does, and I'm a big advocate for bread. I bake breads and everything else, but nevertheless,
I like my glutens.
I understand. I understand. I do understand. But we just need to be prudent. It's our children that it's going to affect. And so, this is just a discussion. Down the road, if we see our kids with allergies or something, it may not be a bad idea to still inspect what we're feeding them at lunch, and hopefully somebody will learn something from this comment.
Also, corn tortillas is the safer alternative for those
Corn tortillas.
for those with gluten
Yes.
allergies.
Good point. Good point.
Anyone else? Okay, are we ready to vote, board?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, aye. That's unanimous. Thank you. Okay, motion and a second for K8.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Approve an agreement with Yardstick Management, LLC, to provide customer care, staff development in the areas of communication, appreciation, responsiveness, and environment to additional district personnel from July 1st, 2018 through September 30th, 2018, at a cost of services of $55,000 to be paid from the general fund. Questions, comments?
Just wondering who will be in the next group of people to be trained?
Rhonda.
Okay, so we're looking at for our customer care at this next group of people that we have coming in, we have our bus drivers. Sorry. We have our bus drivers. We also have maintenance workers that are going to be coming in. We have some of the clerical staff that missed out on the training that we had from before. And then we also have some of our instructional aides that will be going through the training.
At that point, will everybody have been, after this training, will everybody pretty much have been through it, or no?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got a long way to go.
Yeah. Okay. Vote by board members.
Aye.
Aye. 4, okay. Motion and a second on K9, please.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. K9 is to approve the renewal of the agreement with Blackboard Inc. for a 1-year subscription from July 1st, 2018 through June 30th, 2019 for use of the Blackboard Inc., formerly ParentLink services at a total cost not to exceed $64,935.60, funded from Title I, Part A, as a centralized service. Questions, comments? Dr. Avila, something like this in another district was undertaken, and there was supposed to be a report. So I don't know if we've got any report on it. When it was brought in-house, it was only $20,000 is what it was. So I'm not sure what the difference is, the almost $45,000 difference. That's why I was questioning this.
And when you say brought in-house, meaning that we, not through Blackboard, but that we develop our own communication
Yes.
system.
The short answer that I got back when I questioned it was that it would require 3 people. I don't understand, because if it's basically a caller, an all call, that's a computer with software and phone lines. We've got all that already. So it would require a person to support the software, maybe a vendor. I don't see more than $40,000.
But it's more than just the calling service, right?
That's what I'm
Saida,
asking.
if you can address that, please.
Good evening, Board of Education, President
evening.
Martinez. I absolutely agree with you. The more we go
Please
in-house.
state your name.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Saida Jaffrey, the Director of Communications and Media Services. I absolutely agree with you. I feel that when we do things in-house, it's a lot better. The difference is the quality of what we're putting out is important as well. The fact that the school district, and I'd love to find out which school district it is, because I can start a conversation with them as well. And understand that the 64,000, Mr. Vice President Montes was correct. We're also looking into doing a mass text system. So we have school sites that would like to use the text version. We also want to do the email version.
Some do use it. Some do.
Right. And we also want to make sure that sometimes when school districts go in-house, the quality may not be as strong, and we are not really a small district anymore. We do have 29 schools, and I do want to reiterate, this is also, the Parent Link system is not exclusively used by communications department. This is used by our principals at school sites for attendance, for making sure that if there's any safety or security issues. And if it's in-house, we may end up in a lot of legal battles saying that why did we go in-house when we could have used a system that was already set up to do a professional job and has basically has been working with us for about 6-7 years, and they have actually cut down on prices. Also want to mention to you that sometimes Parent Link, and I don't know how I should say this, but we've actually negotiated with them to the point where, because we were one of the first, we get the bang for our buck. And we are looking into extending into texting and using other forms of communication, and their success rate is so great. And I think that usually when you're doing attendance or when you're just kind of giving the pancake breakfast or the fluff or the fun stuff, it's wonderful. But when you need someone and you need a device that you can use for an emergency situation, you don't want to risk anyone's life. So I think for us, this would be for right now, but I absolutely want to start a dialogue to see if there is something better out there. I know that we have spoken to several agencies to see what they offer. So the 64,000 has not been increased from years past. In fact, we have saved about $10,000 just to go with Parent Link, and Chris Prince and I have wonderful, colorful conversations that are not out there for public, because he knows that I'm looking at the best interest of the school district, and our principals are happy with it. It's an easy access for them as well, and they can use the device anywhere on their mobile phone. They don't have to be at the desk. And we have seen that when we want to put information out, say for instance at Log Creek, when we have issues with inclement weather, if there's fires, their success rate is so good. And so when you see something that's really working for the district, you don't want to eliminate it for maybe something that might be a little bit cheaper. But I would love to actually maybe speak with you afterwards and see if I could talk to that school district, because I'd love to be proven wrong, because I would love to save the money. But at the same time, I want to make sure that we still provide quality service to our parents and make sure that they also get the information that they need. And I do want to let you know that others, using other devices, Blackboard also offers Spanish translation. Using Eleanor Harrison from our translation department actually saves us a lot of money. And because sometimes the translation in Spanish is not as accurate, because it's a machine, and we don't want to do that to our parents. We feel that the parents need to understand the language, the message in the language that they speak. So in a way, we're cutting costs doing that as well.
Yes.
And I think there's a old saying that says you get what you pay for, so I think the money's well worth it.
Thank you, Mrs. O'Connor.
Comment.
Yes, Mr. Ayala.
The texting, I think, is excellent alternative to
Yes.
The phone calls.
The phone calls, because it is a modern way to really communicate. And not only that, but it also can probably be divided. So like if there's just a certain school that has an issue, not everybody gets the message. They don't need it. So-
Majority of people nowadays
Yeah.
don't even
Right.
have landlines, and you
Yeah.
know, and
So
the ones that do only do because they had them forever, and
that's money well
the
spent.
message is right there on the mobile
Absolutely.
phone, and for
So
them to
we do
look
wanna
at
customize
without
it.
having to. What did they say, or repeat it?
And again, there are some parents who actually want to hear the message. There's some parents who would rather just look at their
Yep.
phones and say, okay, I got the message. So we are working on that, and it looks like we are going to work, and without extra cost. So the texting will be a part of this.
Beautiful.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
The original price that I'd quoted of 20 was just for calling, and it was not critical calling.
Okay.
So thank you for the update on the critical and the texting and all the other communication that it involves. I appreciate that. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity, President Martinez.
Okay. Vote by board members.
Aye.
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 And we already had one. Okay. A motion and a second on K10, please.
So moved.
A second, please.
Second.
Thank you. K10 is to approve an agreement with Think Together to provide the after-school expanded learning program at Fitzgerald Elementary School, effective July 1st, 2018 through June 30th of 2019, for a total cost not to exceed $124,000 to be paid from the general fund. The district has an option to renew for 2 subsequent years. Questions, comments?
No, just want to say that's because Fitzgerald did not qualify.
Correct.
So that's why we're paying for it at the general
Yes,
fund.
and my question was similar, but not why they didn't qualify, but basically why they weren't tied to the rest, and them not qualifying. You probably have an answer for us right now.
Yes, and so again, they don't meet the threshold required by the state in order for them to qualify for this program, so we have to offset it by approving it out of our general fund. But I wanted to just share that this is probably the strategy behind Yolanda's request to look at the boards and to thank the board
To thank us. for-
very strategically.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
We can recall some years back when parents shared concerns with the board regarding there not being an after-school program at Fitzgerald, and requesting that, you know, the board and the district do everything possible to also include them in an after-school program for their students, and we've done that. So
And I think bottom line is our kids qualify to us.
Mhm.
And
That's right.
that's why this is so important. Okay, questions, comments by board members? Okay, vote on K10, please.
Aye.
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 Okay, motion and a second on K11.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Bless
you, my friend. Approve an agreement with Think Together, Inc., a nonprofit corporation, for the purpose of providing the after-school education and safety ACES program at 18 elementary, 5 middle schools in the district. The term of the contract will be July 1st, 2018 through June 30th, 2019, with an option to renew for 2 subsequent years. Payment is not to exceed the grant amount of $2,918,126.04 for the 2018-19 fiscal year, and fees will be renegotiated for subsequent years, should the district desire to exercise renewal options. Questions, comments? Okay, vote by board members.
Aye.
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 Motion and a second on K-12, please.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. K-12 is to approve renewal of the agreement with Illuminate Education, Inc., effective July 1st, 2018 through June 30th, 2019. That includes Illuminate Data and Assessment DNA licenses at $350 per student for $89,180, grading software at $1 per student for $25,480, and the Inspect Item Bank at $1.50 per student, $38,220, for a total cost not to exceed $152,880, to be paid from Title I, Part A. Questions, comments?
Nope.
Vote by board members.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion and a second on K13, please.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. K13 is to approve an agreement with Behavioral Autism Therapies, Inc., to provide applied behavior analyst, ABA aids, effective July 1st through 2018. Effective July 1st of 2018 through June 30th, 2019, at a total cost not to exceed $70,000, to be paid from special education funds. Questions, comments? Vote by board members.
Aye.
Motion and a second on K14, please.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. K14 is to approve an agreement with Autism Spectrum Intervention Services and Training to provide applied behavior analyst ABA aids, effective July 1st, 2018 through June 30th, 2019, at a total cost not to exceed $160,000, to be paid from special education funds. Questions, comments? Vote by board members.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion and a second on K15, please.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. K15 is to approve the appointment of the principals and athletic directors of Carter, Eisenhower, and Rialto High Schools as site-level representatives of the California Interscholastic Federation, or the CIF League, for the 2018-2019 school year. Questions, comments?
Well, did we go, is this the first year some of the schools are going back to CIF? Because wasn't Carter with San Gorgonio League?
Those are the leagues, all of them are under CIF. But
Okay.
they're in different leagues
Yeah.
within
Okay.
CIF.
And Carter's won championships.
I know.
Okay, any other questions, comments? All right, vote by board members.
Aye.
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 Motion and a second on K16, please.
Is that for me?
Good Lord.
Motion and a second on K16,
We
please.
So
need a
moved.
sign, no cell phone.
Do we have a second on K16?
Second.
Thank you. K16 is to adopt resolution number 171857, order of election and specifications of the election order. Questions or comments from the board? Okay, vote by board members? Aye.
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 Okay, motion and a second for K17, please.
So moved. Second.
Thank you. K17 is to ratify the tentative settlement agreement between the Rialto Unified School District and the Rialto Education Association, REA. Questions or comments?
Oh.
Okay, vote by board members?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion and a second for K18, please.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Abstain.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Ayala. Adopt resolution number 171856, excusing the absence of board member Joseph Ayala from the Wednesday, June 13th, 2018 regular meeting of the Board of Education. Questions or comments? And Mr. Ayala is abstaining, so vote by board members.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, 3 ayes and 1 abstain. The next regular meeting of the Board of Education of the Rialto Unified School District will be held on Wednesday, July 11th, 2018, at 7 p.m. at the Dr. John R. Casalunas Education Center, right here, 182 East Walnut Avenue, Rialto, California. Materials distributed or presented to the Board of Education at the board meetings are available upon request from the superintendent's office. Okay, motion and a second for
So moved.
adjournment. Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Vote by board members.
Aye.
Aye.
I know there were no questions on that. 8:25.